even I'm shocked at seeing something. I'm shocked at a board or a director, and I got shocked today, so I'm including it in the show. Legit shocked and amused.
Shocked and amused.
Yeah,
All right,
come on, let's get to the show. Come on,
Yeah,
what are you waiting for?
I'm not waiting for anything. I'm waiting for you. I'm working the tech. I'm playing a board.
Let's
I'm
get
pressing
to
some buttons. Let's
look at our alternative democracy. I want to share a few shareholder votes with you. I know you hate
thank
this.
God.
I'll try to keep it
I
quick.
love it when you do this. Let's spend 6 or 7 hours talking about how people
No, this
voted.
is quick. This is quick.
All right, let's do it.
First of all, we got to cover the Twitter vote. Twitter shareholders voted yesterday. I don't know. Did you see any of this, Matt? I'm gonna ask
voted.
you what you voted. 99% passed. Said they want Musk to take over.
Who's the one?
Doesn't that surprise you? I don't get. But I don't want to spend too much time on this. But why would you want him to take over your company? Just
Wait a
because
minute.
of the. Yeah.
I just want to do some basic math. I want to understand
Do it.
something. Elon Musk owns 9.6% of Twitter. Does he vote?
Okay.
As a shareholder, doesn't he vote?
Yeah. Why not?
Well, because 99% means he voted for the merger.
Oh, I see what you're doing there. Okay. You might be right. There might be a stipulation that he doesn't get the vote on
Right,
a merger
he can't
agreement,
vote,
right?
right? That can't be
No.
right, right? He
Good
can't
question.
vote. Okay.
Actually, let's just leave it at that. Okay. Well, you know what? Let me add this one thing. This strange question. Proposal number 2. There's actually another vote here that no one's going to cover but us. To approve the compensation that will or may become payable by Twitter to its named executive officers in connection with the merger. So we don't even know what that pay is going to be.
I like the may become pay.
Right? And they asked shareholders to vote on this, and of course they said yes. They're like, sure, whatever.
Yeah,
Who cares?
whatever. Pay yourself whatever you want. You just got us $56 a share. What do we care?
Yeah, despite the fact that the CEO is in the news because the senators are yelling at him saying that if the whistleblower is right, the CEO should be fired. But whatever, give him some money. Who cares? All right, let's move on. Here's the big story for me. Nathan's famous hot dogs. There was a very boring shareholder vote. Nobody cares. Here's what I care about.
Deeply now.
The only thing of note, Matt, was that 20% of shareholders hate the chair, Howard Lorber, which is a great name if you're a chair of a hot dog company, Howard Lorber.
You don't want to be a Lorber.
But let's get to the actual stuff, and don't reveal the second slide until I get to it.
I can keep it a secret.
This picture is quite fitting. This is not a joke, other than the fact that he's at Pete's famous hot dogs. This picture that Matt is showing, if you're watching along online, watching our video, this is very accurate. You know why, Matt?
No.
The Nathan's Famous board, 9 directors. The average age is 71. Matt,
Nice.
there's only one dude on this board who is below the age of 69. Only one.
I mean, hot dogs are mostly for old people and children.
average
Children can't be on boards.
The average tenure is 25 years. Only one person on this board was appointed since George W. Bush was president. Only one. Incredible.
Wait, the 53-year-old has been there?
He's been there for 17 years.
He's been there for 17 years? Is he related
finally-
to the hot dogs?
And finally, here's the kicker. This is the best board diversity matrix ever. The best anti-woke board chart ever. You can go to the next slide. This company is all white men. That's it. Nothing else. I don't know if you can see this slide. There's a lot of zeros. Why do they even bother? They're trolling me. I
don't know.
This is the
what
greatest
that is.
board ever. It is the greatest old white people board ever.
Wow.
Am I wrong? This is the best. Look at this board matrix.
No, I'm
This
literally
diversity matrix.
A diversity matrix that has, for 9 people, a 9 in one spot and zeros everywhere else.
Well, there's a 9 in white. There's a 9 in white and a 9 in male.
Yeah, okay. That's a good matrix. It's an
I love
excellent
this.
2x2.
I don't know why I love this so much. Why do I love this so much?
Because
it's proving how weirdly white people love hot dogs. I don't get hot dogs, by the way.
I mean, it's proving how effective ESG has been at making you put a diversity matrix for a board that is
love this.
100% white men.
Okay, and finally, I got a pop quiz for you, Matt. Smith & Wesson had a annual meeting vote this week there was a shareholder proposal requesting the adoption of a human rights policy. Yeah, guns company. What percentage of voters said yes to this, Matt? In other words, what is the woke percentage quotient for Smith & Wesson shareholders? You going to go low or high, or what are you going to do on this one? And don't try to look into my head of like he included it. Even though you're close, I'm just going to be mean and say...
You're going to slowly tell me I
don't know why this surprised me, but 41% of shareholders at Smith & Wesson want a human rights policy. That's high. That's very high.
That does seem high. I mean, that can't all be nuns. That's got to be Larry Fink, right? Being woke.
Yeah, he's the BlackRock number one shareholder there at Smith & Wesson. I got nothing interesting to say. Let's move on.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to keep this show under 400 hours. Okay, here's my second category today. Horrible non-ESG woke headlines that make me laugh in a maybe uncomfortable way.
Ooh. Can we do the laugh each time?
You can control I'll let you control the board on this one.
Great. I'm excited about this now.
In no particular order. This is just things that tickled me. The first headline is, wokeism is the work of Satan, says village pastor. Wokeism. Matt, we're an ism. We're finally an ism. Wokeism.
That feels like this. That feels like that kind of laugh, yeah.
And again, for those of you watching at home, nothing proves the power of Satan like the fact that he's a conductor in this picture. He has two batons.
Two batons.
So he's really in charge.
Yeah,
he's really powerful. Here's the next horrible non-ESG woke headline that made me laugh in a maybe uncomfortable way. Peter Thiel, decrying woke poop-filled California, wants the GOP to embrace a more positive agenda. I'm just focused on this woke poop-filled California.
I like
What's going on there?
Anything that's filled with poop is a legit laugh. That's not uncomfortable.
How about getting poop-filled adjacent to woke? I mean, Peter Thiel is a genius. Woke poop-filled.
No one else can do
California.
that. No one can pull that off. That is really next level.
Has anyone ever visited the lovely state of California and think poop-filled? It's a gorgeous.
I mean, look, there's a lot of people there, so there's clearly a lot of poop. But I don't.
Okay, so
it's not usually what you go for. You're not like there's the Golden Gate Bridge, there's the poop-filled Monterey Bay. That's not usually the way it works.
Just excited by that one. Number 3. This is a good one. Ubisoft. Remember Ubisoft? Remember all the shenanigans, all the harassment, sexual harassment at Ubisoft?
Really special.
Gaming company. Ubisoft CEO says sexual harassment reports caused by generational differences. That's who he's blaming.
Here's the quote. Laugh. That's not.
Here's the quote. The company was running, and there were ways things were done. And then there was a new young generation coming into the company with different needs. and we had to adapt. I think we didn't adapt fast enough to what people expected and needed. Let's focus on, Matt, the new young generation of workers having different needs. You know what he's talking about, right? That they needed not to be sexually harassed. That's exactly what he just said. That is exactly what the CEO of a publicly traded company just told us.
He did.
That's
say
shocking.
That. He did say that.
Why did this mother effer have a job?
You don't see very often. You don't see very often a CEO admitting that the old guard we could just harass all day long, but this new crop of employees,
new generation,
for whatever reason, they're just poop filled.
And if you want to have proof that there is no woke agenda, there's no ESG like taking over the world. If ESG ratings agencies, research companies actually had power, they would get this guy fired somehow for this anti-woke statement. But it's not. None of this is baked into their ratings. There's no agenda. What are we doing here? Moving on.
Okay, it's getting dangerous.
2 more, and then I'll hand it off to you, Matt. These last 2 ones really tickled me in different ways. Remember, these are woke headlines.
I like a woke
toddler. This one.
No, I already like it. Hold on a second. This is already the best one.
This one's all kind of shocking. Toddler woke up at her own funeral after doctors wrongly declared she had died, reports say. Her family is suing the hospital for negligence. That's right. Woke up at her own funeral.
Less woke than I thought it was going to be. It started funny.
How
and
can
then
it be any
moved
more
to
woke
the
than that? How can it be any more woke? That's the wokest headline. Where's Peter Thiel? Where's Blake Masters? Where's DeSantis? They should be angry at this. This is so woke.
And can I be honest? This was the most likely woke headline to actually be poop-filled. There's 100% chance.
But this is proving that Larry Fink is playing God. His ESG villains over at BlackRock are now reversing death. They're doing God's work. They're waking up toddlers. This is terrible.
That's amazing. I get another shot.
And finally.
All right.
And finally, this one's for me because this is one of my pet peeves. And here's the final headline. I'll hand it over to Matt. My neighbor woke me up at 2:45 a.m. mowing his lawn. I'm so tired.
Is that a real headline or is that you?
Yeah, that's from, and not from Business Insider. That's from the Daily Mirror. The Daily Mirror. And by the way,
that's a real headline.
The toddler waking up at her own funeral is also not Business Insider. That's Yahoo News. So I just want you all to know.
Look, everybody's diversifying because there's nothing that says business news like your neighbor waking you up at 2:45.
Hey.
All right, I'm going to play. I'm going to finish this off here. I'm going to play some woke news word games with you.
Ooh.
So here's what I did. I analyzed each of the 4,000 headlines from our Google News Alert for the acronym ESG. And this is just the headlines over the last 90 days. There's 4,000 headlines in 90 days. It was a lot. So Damien is going to play a word game. Are you ready to play a word game?
Oh, so ready.
What is the most used word in ESG headlines over the last quarter? Damien, go.
Not including the acronym ESG, of
Not
course.
including the acronym ESG.
Wow.
It's going to be tough. It's hard to think of because ESG's. This gets to ESG is so many things. What do you choose? Is it going to be like carbon? Is it going to be like something? What's it going to be?
I'll say fund.
No, it is report.
Okay, come on, I'm in the same ballpark.
The word report is the most used ESG
wow,
word
this is a
in
terrible
ESG
game.
headlines over the last quarter. What is the corollary to this? What is the top piece of ESG news over the last quarter?
What does that mean, top piece?
Like the single most, if the word is report is the most used word, what's the most newsworthy thing that's happened over the last quarter?
I mean, I guess is something in the anti-ESG war? Something in there? Am I close?
That would be fun and interesting, but no, it's issuing a report. That's the most out of 4,000
ESG
headlines.
Issuing a report. Okay,
ESG,
I like it.
The most ESG thing you could have done in the last 90 days is issue a new report. This is
sounds right.
This is actually,
right.
I used natural language processing to get this data. This is what I found. This is all real. I didn't make this up.
But this sounds right to me. Yeah.
The issuing an ESG report was the number one thing you could have done in the last 90 days.
Isn't that the bread and butter of all ESG desk jockey nerds is issuing reports? Isn't that what they do best?
That's all they do. Yeah, they just sit around and issue
there
reports.
You go. All right.
But here,
no judgment.
Is the real, this is what you really wanted to know.
Yeah.
How many BlackRocks were in the headlines?
Just
headlines.
the word, the proper name, BlackRock.
How many times
out of 4,000
BlackRock in the headlines for the search term ESG in Google News over the last 90 days?
I'll randomly select 10% and say 400 times.
You are wrong by 9%. It is 41. BlackRock actually isn't
That's it.
in. Yeah, it's not really in the ESG news.
Oh, okay.
Nobody cares. Only when you
Only
search
Ron
for the word
DeSantis.
woke do you find BlackRock appearing more often.
Interesting.
Not ESG.
Okay. Proving it's all political theater. Proving
it's political theater. No one in the ESG world's really talking about BlackRock. But what is then the second most ESG thing you can do this year? If the first most is issue a report, what's the second most?
Well, for me, I'm landing on questioning your own existence, like an existential crisis. Like
in the headlines, that's hard to write about. That's not really headline grabbing news.
Well, anything with a question mark. Like, is the S part important of ESG?
Oh,
I like those
a lot
headlines.
of that. I could not using natural language processing. I could not get to that. But
All
what
right,
I could
what's
get
the
to
answer?
was launching a fund.
I
got
said
it with the
funds.
first one. You did.
I
You
said
got it with
funds.
the first one. Yeah, you did a good job. It was good.
God
it was good.
damn it.
It took
Thank you.
2 more to get there. But
I know, but I'm proud of myself.
here's my
Funds.
last question
Yeah.
in my
Do
woke
it.
news word game
Excited.
today. What are the top this is just me. There's no
Yours.
language processing. What are my
Okay.
top 3 favorite word correlations in the last 90 days in the headlines? And that by that I mean when you see the word BlackRock, 92% of the time you also see the word myth, right? Like, so it's one word plus another word. They're correlated. Why don't you do one and then I'll give you one.
I'll say materiality and woke.
Oh, these are really good guesses, but
I don't know. I'm just
my
throwing it
top
out there.
one
Who knows?
is SEC and Crackdown. That's one
Ooh,
of
I
my
like
top
Crackdown.
ones.
I love a Crackdown. I
Crackdown
love it.
was in the headlines a lot. There were more
I had
instances of the word Crackdown than the word BlackRock.
I had most of Crackdown's albums in the 90s. They were big. The Crackdown.
I know.
love
I tried
Crackdown.
to actually find their logo. It was not. I could not use it. What's the second? That's my third favorite. What's my second favorite?
You just want a word pair here?
Yeah, just pick a
How
word.
about,
It's gonna be.
how about Fink and chocolate?
Ooh, really good. But no, it's ESG and scam.
Oh,
Why
that's
is
too
ESG
obvious.
and
I should
scam?
have guessed that. I should have guessed that.
Here's
one.
the headline: Tesla dumped
Yeah.
by S&P ESG index as Musk calls label a scam. Musk
Right.
had there were 40
Must be
stories
true.
just about Musk saying scam over and over
Must
again.
be true.
That's what makes it true. And finally, what was my favorite word correlation in ESG headlines in the last 90 days? You're never gonna guess this.
Why don't you just give it to me?
It is litigation
What?
and lobster.
Stop it.
That is a real correlation that appeared in the last 90 days, and it comes from this story. Red Lobster complaint highlights threats of ESG litigation to the food and beverage industry. Red Lobster was sued in the last 90 days for
Ooh.
their ESG reports, which means you saw a bunch of Red Lobster and ESG in litigation all in the same sentence. Made me very
I got
happy.
2 things to say here. You might not be far off there because now we have a new battle, at least up here in New England, because now they're telling people not to fish for lobsters, not to trap lobsters because it's hurting the whale industry. They're hurting whaling. The second thing is, can I give you my favorite ESG headline of the
Please,
of the period?
we're going to go out with your favorite headline here.
I just love the simplicity of this one and just how boring it is. I love how boring it is. Ready?
Give it to me.
ESG is still a dirty word to some, but Erica Karp thinks it shouldn't be.
Ooh. You know what?
That is hard hitting. Come on.
Come
on. That is hard hitting headline.
Erica Karp. God bless you, Erica Karp. She stole our line. She's the one who took ESG investing
Do tell.
is not a thing. She took.
Yeah, do tell.
We said that. We said that first for years. In fact, there's an article on Bloomberg in which I'm quoted talking about how ESG investing is not a thing, like way back earlier this year. Forget that I said it like 3 years ago. So now she's leaning into the acronym and saying we should do it. You know what my rant was last Woke Wednesday?
Tell me.
It was that we need to embrace the acronym of ESG. We need to reclaim it. Reclaim the acronym, baby. That is Woke Wednesday. It's Damian Rollis. I am Matt Moscardi. We are Free Float Media. If you like this, I can't imagine why you would. You should listen to more of it. So come back tomorrow when we do more stuff. We'll see you then. Goodbye.